Hello, everybody. This is Matt from A Better Track. We're going to be talking today about how valuable that first job you get actually turns out to be. One of the things that we run into when we're working with kids and we're starting to talk about landing that first job and how we're going to go about that, sometimes kids have this preconceived idea of what that first job is, and they're really opposed to actually taking an entry level job. We have this vision in our head that it's a little bit cheesy. Maybe the uniform's not okay. They don't consider the work to be up to their standard or their level. And there's a little bit of resistance around actually taking an entry level job for the first job that we're actually getting. So I wanted to talk about that today, and I wanted to kind of help take a minute and actually help you realize how important that first job actually is and how valuable that job becomes as we progress in our careers down the road. So what we're going to talk about is experience equals value. Right now, we're looking at what is most likely our first or second job. So we don't have a ton of experience yet, which makes our value when it comes to finding jobs and getting jobs with employers, it makes our value relatively low. So the next question becomes, how do we build up our value so that we can demonstrate to employers all the skills that we know we have? I know that you're hardworking. I know that you're great at problem solving. You're creative, you're adaptable, and you're reliable. You've proven that throughout this program, and now we need to find a way to show that to employers. The first way that we really start to be able to demonstrate that to employers is we start small. We start with entry-level jobs that don't have a ton of requirements around them. Now, like we talked about, this sometimes can be unappealing. We might be afraid if it's a cheesy job to start out with. We might be afraid that we might get made fun of by other friends. There's a lot of different reasons we're kind of resistant to those jobs. But what we have to understand is this is not your last job. This is your first job. And it's the first step in building that value so that then we can go on and get those other jobs. And by building that value, I mean being able to demonstrate to employers all the skill set that we have. And this is our first chance to kind of build that. One of the things that our first job is going to help us do is build a foundation of skills that are going to carry us through the rest of our lives. Now that might sound like a really big statement, but the fact of the matter is, it's true. Our first job helps us establish skills that we're going to continue to use in jobs that we have way later on in life. A lot of those things are going to be foundational skill sets that we need to perform in any job in any industry. That first job, whether it's our vision of what we want to be doing or if it's something we never imagined ourselves doing, it's going to teach us to be prepared. It's going to teach us to be on time. It's going to teach us how to work and be ready to work when we show up. It's going to teach us how to prepare and work for different bosses, how to understand and meet expectations that the job has for us, and how to be consistent in our performance. To this day, I still reference a lot of the same skills that I had to use and I learned in the first job that I've ever had. So while this might not fit our vision, this first job gives us the tools that are going to take us on to those jobs that we want to do or that are paying more. And it gives us the skill set to sit in those interviews and explain to employers why they should hire us, why they want to go with you as the person that they're going to hire. You're going to have the foundation to feel, one, confident in those interviews and confident going out and looking for jobs that you know you're going to have the skill set to go do because you have the experience to back that up. And that's really the point of this little video, is to kind of explain that that first job might not be what we really want to be doing, and we might be really hesitant to take a step forward and try that job out. But what I really want to get across today is that I learned more than I ever thought I would in the first job I ever had. And I wasn't really sure about taking it at the time. But it gave me skills that I still use today. It taught me things that I still use in my job today. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. So if we have reservations about going to work or taking some of those jobs that we're a little bit unsure about, understand that you are building a foundation for the future. All right, thanks a lot. I will see you guys soon.